All right, how are we looking? We appear to be live. That's nice. Always good to see that. Yeah. And as always, Rumble sometimes has a few issues here. All right, let's not have that going on. Yeah, we got our recording in progress. That's good. What? Image. Bubble. That shall be. Seems. Sources. Hubble. Boom. All right. Wonderful. That's just something I can toss on top when I need a little bit of privacy. And it's a lovely image by Hubble. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful galaxy. Not sure which one it is, but it's beautiful. That's the picture that I have in the background of all of my all my videos. Let's go ahead and make sure that things are going properly. I had a small difference there, as you probably noticed. I have the there was some feedback that I was getting because I've got a monitor window open just to make sure that the stream's going properly, and yeah, that can loop pretty badly pretty quickly. Oh, okay. That's looking good. Come on. Freezing up on me. That's what I get. I got a... Oh man, 8-year-old laptop here that I'm still using. Yeah. Crazy to think how long I've had that. Yeah, I was annoyed back when I got it because it's like, I got a choice between Windows 8 and Windows 10. Windows 10 spies on you, but Windows 8.1 sucks. It's like, oh, well, I guess I'll go with Windows spyware. And nowadays, we got a choice between Windows 10, which is going out of support real soon, and Windows 11, which is literal spyware, even worse than Windows 10. Oh my gosh, Windows! What the hell is wrong with you? Ah. Come on, let's actually get that thing working. Yeah. Once my laptop unfreezes, it can do some stuff. No. Don't need any of that. Alright, while that's thinking... Oh good, I am on the VPN. Bum. And yeah, as you can guess from my singing, I've been listening to One Winged Angel in the background right before the stream. Bum bum ba da da dum. Bum 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 bum. Beep beep boop beep beep boop beep do 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 do. I know what I forgot to do. Oh. Sorry, I'm super disorganized. One, it's it's a Sunday. Two, I had a horrible case of insomnia last night, and yeah, I didn't get to sleep until like 6 a.m. That's never any fun. Can go ahead and close that. It's good. Will you start working now? Hey, yay, it's unfrozen. How nice of you to finally comply. Bum bum ba da da dum ba da. Alright, let's get that going. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, I'm back. Oh yes. I know what I need to do. Um, Chat test, perfect. We are in fact picking things up as we should be. Alright, let's get this thing finished up. Yeah. It's already 7:20. It was supposed to start at 7, and at the rate I'm going, we won't even start until 7:30. And I still gotta put up a couple announcements. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Right. That's gonna get back to work. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's get those. Let's get the ads out. Come on. Stop lagging. Yeah, of course it's gonna go crazy and everything. Yeah, and my laptop's so old it still has a hard drive, and that's what's holding everything back. Writing to disk or reading from disk. I'm spoiled by the fact that my computer has an SSD. Mind you, that's normal these days, but yeah. Basically, my work laptop and my home desktop have SSDs and nothing else in my setup. Cool, that got straightened out. Let's close Task Manager, open up Discord, install and updates 1 to 15. It's gonna keep going. Oh, that's why. There we go. It's one less thing we can worry about. Friggin' Windows service hosts. You never know what they do. They just come in and take up all of your connected user experience and telemetry. Oh, come on. My entire laptop is chugging because Windows just wants to get all their telemetry back. They probably heard me that I was complaining about them. It's like, oh, we are going to listen on everything that brings Stabity says, and when he tries to read, we will send it all to the Microsoft servers. Yes. um. Okay, let me go ahead and grab my. Oh. Right. I don't have my YouTube link here. I have my YouTube link saved over there. Okay. I think, at long last, I'm actually good to go, and we can start for real. Alright, let's get you over. Oh, right. One last thing. Let me turn on Hubble, and let me get back into here. Oh, there we go. Found a problem with Rumble again. All right, there we go. Gotta make sure things are muted so that we don't get the feedback once we start getting back into this. No. Alright, muted. There we go. Yep, okay. Gotta keep putting in some random white noise and speaking to make sure that this stuff actually shows that it's playing audio, and I know that I can mute it. Mute. Alright, there we go. I think that is everything muted on my system. I guess the simple test is to just unmute and make sure that... Nope. I am not unmuted. I missed something. What did I miss? What did I miss? Let's see. It is there. Odyssey was not muted. The one that always causes problems. I exaggerate a bit, but not too much. All right, let's unmute. No, nothing? Nothing? Yes. All right, no feedback. Hurrah! Let's turn off the away screen. And let's hop to it. So yeah, the way I do it is I'm doing a few run-throughs. Start off with editing. It's 14 pages. This is Men with Green Faces by... Men with Green Faces was Duddle Red, I believe. Let me double check that. There. Live status, a studio. Oh, lovely. And there's a playback error on YouTube. Thought I checked there, but it's just the notification page, so it's not actually there. Men with Green Faces. Yes, by Duddle Red. Alright, so yeah, like I said, we do a few passes here. First and foremost, autocorrect, or at least spell check, and that is our great friend. Elatoria, that is supposed to be Elataria. Change all. That's already a bunch of things cleared out, but we can't skip canines. So we want the type of teeth. Snarl. Dr. Tulia's face contorted with a snarl. Her sharp canines intimidated the poor Uville. Yep, that is a semicolon. As Rocket was being wheeled out of the room, definitely a comma. Elatoria. Yep, that is Elataria's change all. However, comma, correct. So, comma, correct. Half dash annoyed. Again, that's a semicolon. Now, I'm making it more formal than the original version is, since normal people don't write with semicolons, but that is the correct punctuation mark to put there. So that's just what happens when I do the editing. It gets a little bit more formalized. Actually, speaking of, is there not a... Huh. Interesting. I'm used to a different version of Microsoft Word. It would actually let you select your levels. I would always make sure to switch to casual writing and make not formal writing or anything else, and made sure to keep things a little more simple. But yeah, again, semicolon, first hand or first dash hand, but not first space hand. I'll stick to single word. Oh, comma, yes. Rocket's eyebrows raised in surprise. He knew about the famous Tauri Duke and human scientists. Nope, that is a singular possessive. Wait, no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Scientists is... Oh, okay, so if I want to be correct, it's that. That's the singular. That's a plural. You don't do single... No. Oh, wait, I was right at first, yeah. Scientists, human scientist, apostrophe S, relationship. I had a brain fart. Singular human scientist and his and the Tari Duke's relationship. Yeah, okay, we're good. But he thought that was an isolated political stunt. Okay. Alright, let's continue on. Oh, comma, yes. Emperor preserves. No, we do not make preserves out of the Emperor. Ignore once. Preserve me, he muttered to himself. No, that is definitely a period, not a semicolon. He was stuck in the middle of a group of women gossiping. That is terrible. Can I ignore it once again there? Good. It's better. That is also an ignore. Oh, he was a gentleman. Yeah, comma. They are pursuit predation mammal. Yeah, technically that. And unfortunately, yes. Again, he wished for death. Ignore all, Lieutenant, thunk. Alright, hot-headed. Alright, we're doing better. Things are getting cleaned up. There we go. Her red irises seem to be blazing with anger. Ignore once on the eep. Promise he won't. No, Emperor bless is a saying, not Emperor blesses. This is an idiom, not a piece of prose. Oh, my stream deck. There we go. Gotta make sure that thing's pulled up and legible. Ductile and stop. There we go. Right, there was a long pause with the doctor's face going from subdued. Tulia's. Huh. I guess because I put it in manually, it'll go there. The entire room sighed in relief. That is another period, not a semicolon. So, what do you do here, Dale? Definitely a comma after the so. I'm gonna have to go back and get a lot of missing periods. Fuck if I know, man. I'm just an MP. They want me to take you to the spooks. Said. No. He's sad. To a pickup location. Said is correct. Female Towery. Click on Towery. And that way we can get to change all in case there are more. Is an ignore. So make sure to keep to yourself. Definitely needs a comma. 2. In front. That is a space. Drove on the human side of the joint base. Comma. Good afternoon, Colonel. Yesterday, period. He said with painful embarrassment. Or, what? Why ignore all? Why can't I ignore once? Sure, ignore all. Works for me. Actually, let me just click on here. I'll get back to it. We're writing prose, past tense. She also remembered. Dr. Greco. Huh. Any relation to El Greco, the artist? Yeah, I apologize for that earlier scene. Period. She takes her oaths very seriously. Return the greeting. Nope. Single MP. Or, not single. Multiple MPs, not possessive MP. Duties. Apologetically, gave him a wrong smile and waved her hand. Again, let's start dropping these periods in here. Don't worry about it. Comma, sir. Shall I be here? Wondered. Oh, don't worry. You know? No? I think it's better without the... Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. Yeah. That's a single phrase. It's, don't worry. I'll drop you off at the hospital at 1900 sharp. Oh, don't worry. We'll drop you off at the hospital at 1900 sharp. Dr. Greco spoke up this time. Toivonen gave him a sideways glance. I did promise after all. Into one side, turned around, walked towards a pair of vehicles. Fine. Fast. That is shrugged. Wry smile on his face. Finally, comma. Not authorized to pass. Set a soldier in full lexicon. Here, pull that encrypted datapad. Pulled out some encrypted datapad, handed it over. He's given temporary access. Said with annoyance in her voice. Okay. Rocket's anxiety jumped massively at the fact that they wouldn't let their own doctor through and the colonel couldn't just wave him in. Just what the hell were they hiding here? Mr. Peter described. Roger that, ma'am. This goes double for you. period. You're here as a courtesy because you made this happen. This comes straight from MISO command. She gave him threatening glare. I got it. I'll keep my mouth shut. Unsatisfaction. Section. You must destroy them! Right, any more proofing? Yeah, that is an ignore all. That is an ignore once, and that is everything. Cool. Alright. That was the automated proofreading. Now we get to go manually, line by line, and make sure we have periods. And then we get to go to quotation mark by quotation mark. And worst of all, after I'm done with that, I'll probably still have missed some stuff. And I'll catch it while recording. Rocket, flippantly glare, do poo 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 doo. Right, click. Period. Look at all those periods. Boom. Much improved. Right, we seem to have everything there. Ah, there we go. Place it's missing it. It's another. Cut off. It's the door to answer door. Door opening, open bay. Mute horror. Voice comm. And to look at Dale, seem to feel exhausted from the encounter. Spooks, good. It's all the chatting. Yeah, that should be lowercase. Jeez. Really wish I did not have insomnia last night. I am falling asleep. It's 8 p.m. Yeah, I couldn't fall asleep until something like 6 p.m. or something last night. That sucked. Yeah. I was supposed to get up at like 9:30, 10 at the latest. I ended up waking up at 10 minutes until 11, and then I didn't actually get up out of bed until noon. So, you know, definitely not functioning on sufficient sleep today, but I gotta get this edited. Edited, recorded, different type of editing, video editing, and uploaded, because this particular chapter I need to release tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And I have tried delaying things, just like, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it in the morning. I'll just catch up on work. And no. Work does not get around that easily to letting me do stuff like that. Alright, let's keep going through here. Staring outside yesterday. Yeah, I'm leaving yawn traps on the video. You can be watching or listen to it, and suddenly you just hear me go, oh! And then you're stuck yawning for who knows how long. And I mentioned yawning, so now I'm gonna be stuck yawning from my own yawns. It's horrible. Why does that happen? Why are yawns contagious? Yawn, dry, hand tremble, do. Ah, here we are. Nope, not a comma, period. It was good. Oh, you must destroy them! You must destroy them! Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Huh? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, okay. Humans are weird. Don't worry about it. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ahem. Go. Da 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 da. Dee 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 dee. Ba da dee dee dee. Okay, good. That is the editing done for now, at least. There'll probably still be another pass, you know, as I'm recording. But for now, that's that. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. No, no, do, do, do. Alright. I'm gonna check something and then we start recording. Alright, at least on the front page on entertainment on Rumble, that's not bad. And I'm the only person live streaming in the readings and audiobooks. Hey! And the VTubers? Yeah, there's 2 VTubers on Rumble. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Right. Well. Now or never. If I let's put the recording icon up. Not that it really matters all that much. Come on. I'm gonna get my laptops a little quieter so that it's not picking up the fan audio on them. That is rather annoying. Oh jeez, if I'm gonna be coughing now, I am so screwed. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Didn't. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. Irritate. There you go. Calm down a bit. It's good. Lower our operating noise. It's always a good decision. Stream announcement. We can that out. There we go. Closed my playback monitor. Hope I won't regret that. Alright, female Atari doctor. Stop moving. Stop moving. Stop moving. Dr. Tulia, do we really need to do this? It was only vomit. Dr. Tulia, do we really need to do this? It was only vomit. Rocket half yelled. You are far from recovered and decided not only to leave the MTF, but go adventuring. No. Not indignant. Attacking. Harsh. You are far from recovered and decided not only to leave the MTF, but go adventuring. There we go. That's better. That's the harsh tone to lash Rocket and make him recoil. Now, you are to be obedient, and you are going to be scanned, or Emperor help me, for he will not even save you. No, for not even he will save you. Now you are going to be obedient and you are going to be scanned, or Emperor help me, for not even he will save you. For not even he will save you. Outnumbered and outarmed. Is he okay? Surprisingly, yes. Given the fact you misinterpreted fresh air as exploring the entire... Surprisingly, yes. Given the fact you misinterpreted fresh air as exploring the entire base... He said in cold. Next time, I expect you to dissuade the good lieutenant from deciding to go on unnecessary adventures. Yes, ma'am. Lord Zolnak, I've read your updated file. It seems you've been transferred to a human unit, and they're transferring you to the human MTF. However, it's still my duty to see you are safely recovering while I still have you. So it would be appreciated if you made both of our lives easier. I'll be fine, Dr. Tulia. The humans won't kill me. Yeah, Rocket added before the words left her mouth. I would be careful with humans. They're the plotting types. Oh, don't give me that look. My husband is human, so I have at least a basic understanding on how secretive and conniving they can be. Really? How are they? Eletaria curiously spoke up. Oh, I highly recommend it. Rocket snapped his head between the two women and shot. I've had a few courtships with our males over the years, but the humans are an acquired taste. Once you get used to how affectionate and touchy they are, you'll either love it or hate it. Emperor, preserve me. What did you have to do to get him? Absolutely nothing. He pursued me. Oh. 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 Ah. Dr. Tulia, please elaborate. Ah, and that is why we read. Oh, got my finger on the wrong key. Maybe this is how I die. Oh, he was a gentleman after medical seminar. As stated, there we go. Nope. Please, just kill me. So, does he satisfy you? No. They are a pursuit predation mammal. Their endurance is unmatched. Please, no. Never dream of. It's as if humans don't have the concept of shameful or derogatory acts like. Alright, ladies, we should have lunch sometime so I can get into the juicy bits. Juicy parts? As if earlier wasn't awful enough? Sir. Just take me to my room. Yes, sir. Alright, sir, just notify me or Liliandra if you need anything. Yeah, I will. Thanks. The next day was much more exciting. Madame Tulia? Dale? We're here for Lieutenant. Right, I did give. We're here for Lieutenant. Oh shit! Yeah, yeah, we're here for the Lieutenant. We're here for the Lieutenant. Yeah, we're here for the Lieutenant. Emperor damned humans and their reaction time. We agreed the good lieutenant would be here for treatment for at least another week. Madame, I'm sorry, but right, yes. Madame Tulia, we're here for Lieutenant. Oh shit! There we go. Emperor damned humans and their reaction time. We agreed. Madame, I'm sorry, but. Don't madame me! Don't madame me! Yo, that's better. She's not even remotely healthy enough for whatever you have planned! Madame, I'm sorry, but we have strict orders to take him to the... His nerves, let alone his muscles, have properly grown... haven't properly grown back yet, and you expect him to perform whatever psychotic duties you have in store? Aren't you supposed to be a healer? Everything you've thrown at us would have put us in a hospital. And you too would be guarded jealously until you were fully healed! Open the door, you cowards! Fuck, Taria's strong as shit. Somehow Imperial doctors are even more psychotic than ours. Dr. Tolia, maybe we should hear them out, Boyanja nervously asked. Eep! 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 Madame, please, we promise you won't be exerted in any way and immediately returned. Liars! I know you humans! You come with honeyed words, and when you're offered a small morsel, you eat a feast! You bastard! You send your men to take a critically injured patient that can't even walk, and you expect me to just allow this to happen? No! No! I don't believe you! You won't be able to speak your honeyed words and get your way this time! I said no! Emperor bless whoever is speaking sense into her. You can't guarantee that! You won't be there yourself! Are you sure? Promise me you'll be there. Okay. No, I believe you. Okay. I love you too. Hurry up and do whatever it is you're going to do. And bring him back. So, what are you doing here, Dale? Why do they want me? Boom, see, missed another missing period. Special classified tasking. Don't worry about it. Yes, okay, it was obvious. To trouble. Up to no good. Whatever the humans in the recreational area. Trouble. He knew the two in front were in on it. But again, it really wasn't his problem. Okay. Aimed bravado. Go. Whatever. Right. We need to get a little more vocal fry. Oleandra's vocal. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Humans are weird. Don't worry about it. Whatever. Ah, Rocket. I'm glad you could make it. Dee-doo. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, I can just pull that up here. Let's see. Narration, men with green faces, 14.
The man was borderline furious and started waving his arm in a shooing motion for a few moments.
Right. That was chapter 13.
Base should have been out. We get something to eat that is almost empty. When the fire team arrived at the cluster to see a lecture, Getty to the whole chapter with the greens filled.
Nope, chapter 12?
Look like shit. He asked, almost sitting down on the desk. How are you now? She asked as a creeping smile stretched across her face, as if she caught someone in it. Well, Lieutenant Klex's. Why is it you think you belong in?
Well, Lieutenant Klex's Zolnak, why is it you think you belong in a human Special Operations Detachment?
He asked in almost convincing way.
Alright, so yes, Colonel Tyvonen is right here. Just gotta, she's somewhat soft-spoken. You don't realize the iron fist under her velvet glove. There we go. Colonel Toivonen, Colonel Toivonen, Colonel Toivonen. Ah, Rocket, I'm glad you could make it. Good afternoon, Colonel. I'm sorry about yesterday, he said with painful embarrassment. Don't worry about it. I was the one worried, you know. Anyway, I'd like you to meet Dr. Greco. Hello, I'm Dr. Stefano Greco. I hope you don't mind me tagging along. Yeah, Greco is cheerful, exuberant. He's a little higher up. Hello, I'm Dr. Stefano Greco. I hope you don't mind me tagging along. Ah, you're Dr. Tullia's husband. Ah, you're Dr. Tullia's husband. Yeah, I apologize for the earlier scene. She takes her oaths very seriously. She is a wonderful woman, though, who cares deeply for every one of her patients. Uh, um, is it true that you... Ahem. It was good to meet you, Dr. Greco. Fine, we'll need to work fast then. Okay, well, that's the editing we can see. Now we just gotta record and we'll outnumbered is one word. Thank you. Cool. Spelling and grammar check complete. Alright, back now, back now. Let's get this recorded. Stop moving! Stop moving! A rather tall, crimson-haired, and dark gray-skinned Tari doctor snarled in agitation as she poked and prodded Rocket's body. Rocket wanted to, but the fact that the crabby woman shoved his corporal out of the room and started forcibly stripping him was distressing. Dr. Tulia, do we really need to do this? It was only vomit! Rocket yelled and... Dr. Tulia... Dr. Tulia, do we really need to do this? It was only vomit! Dr. Tulia, do we really need to do this? It was only vomit! Rocket half yelled in distress. Dr. Tulia's face contorted into a snarl. Her sharp canines intimidated the poor Uville. You are far from recovered and decided not only... You are far from recovered... You are far from recovered and decided not only to leave the MTF, but go adventuring. No. You are far from recovered and decided not only to leave the MTF, but go adventuring. Tulia's harsh tone seemed to lash Rocket and made him recoil. With the help of her nurses, they forced Rocket's good hand from his groin and strapped him down to the medical table. Now, you are going to be obedient, and you're going to be scanned, or Emperor help me, for not even he will save you, Tulia barked down. Outnumbered and outarmed, Rocket had no choice but to yield to the infuriated Tari and her legion of nurses. He just wished it didn't cost him his dignity. No, he just wish it hadn't. He just wished it hadn't cost him his dignity. He just wished it hadn't cost him his dignity. The scanning process always left him feeling uneasy. The whine of the machine, the sporadic lights, and the little needle sensations all over his body. It was little over... It was little over an hour of... It was little over an hour of what seemed like mental torture. The entire medical staff deemed it imperative to give him a full medical examination, and they were quite grabby in indecent spots. Even if it was purely professional, he still felt like he wanted to die. They didn't even have the decency to allow him to put his undergarments on himself. As Rocket was being wheeled out of the room, he noticed a shadow immediately shoot up from the ground. Is he okay? Eletaria asked in a worried tone. Tulia seemed to give her the stink eye and looked her up and down. Surprisingly, yes, given the fact you misinterpreted fresh air as exploring the entire base, she said in a cold tone. Eletaria shifted uncomfortably, still standing at attention. The doctor held her glare for a few moments longer before finally letting loose a sigh. Understanding it wasn't the poor corporal's decision or choice, Tulia let up her optical attacks. Next time, I expect you to dissuade the good lieutenant from deciding to go on unnecessary adventures, she said while wheeling the Uville to Eletaria. Yes, ma'am, Eletaria immediately saluted. Giving one more sigh, Tulia looked at the rest of her staff and then towards Rocket. She let go of the wheelchair and traded places with Eletaria. She then let go of the wheelchair, traded places with Eletaria, and looked Rocket in the eye. Lord Zolnak, I've read your updated file. Lord Zolnak, I've read your updated file, she said flippantly. Rocket's eye hardened as he shot his head to return the doctor's glare. It seems you've been transferred to a human unit, and they're transferring you to the human MTF, she said while brushing her hair over her ear. Elataria's eyes wiggled as she tried to keep a straight face. However, it's still my duty to see you are safely recovering while I still have you, Tulia said, letting go of the wheelchair. So it would be appreciated if you would make both of our lives easier. She stepped towards her staff and spun around. Rocket gave her a half-annoyed look. Imperial doctors were always difficult to deal with. They had a near-fanatical devotion to their craft and oaths. I'll be fine. Huh? You know what? Let's switch that to a period. I'll be fine. I'll be fine, Dr. Tulia. The humans won't kill me. Dr. Tulia's face scrunched in a cringe and immediately opened her mouth ready to retort. Yet, Rocket added before the words left her mouth. She closed her mouth and reevaluated the Uvil with a renewed curiosity. Rocket didn't like the way it seemed she was nearly dissecting him with her eyes. I would be careful with the humans. They're the plotting types, she said, still studying him. He tried his best not to roll his eye. He didn't want to be lectured by someone who didn't have any first-hand experience with humans. Oh, don't give me that look. My husband is human, so I have at least a basic understanding of how secretive and conniving they can be. She put her hands on her hips. Rocket's eyebrows raised in surprise. Rocket's eyebrows raised in surprise. He knew about the famous Tauri Duke and human scientists' relationship, but he thought that was an isolated political stunt. He never would have thought that Tauris and humans were actually interested in courting each other. Really? How are they? Elataria curiously spoke up from behind Rocket. Huh? And we missed a period. That's why we keep editing, even as we're recording. Really? Elataria curiously spoke up from behind Rocket. He snapped his head up, getting ready to scold the improper corporal when Tulia spoke up first. Oh, I highly recommend it, she said gleefully. Rocket snapped his head between the two women in shock. I've had a few courtships with our males over the years, but the humans are an acquired taste, the doctor said as she ran her fingers through her hair. Elataria put her finger to her chin and thought. Once you get used to how affectionate and touchy they are, you'll either love it or hate it. Tulia's hair fell down, strand by strand, as she slowly lifted her arm. Funnily enough, the nurses behind the doctor also seemed to be very interested in the conversation. Horror gripped Rocket as he realized what was happening. Emperor, preserve me, he muttered to himself. He was stuck in the middle of a group of women gossiping. What did you have to do to get him? A nurse spoke up from behind her with genuine interest. Rocket rolled his eye and Tulia giggled as she looked over his shoulder at the gaggle of women behind her. Absolutely nothing. He pursued me, she answered slowly with a smug grin. Ooh, oh. The group burst into a surprised and almost argumentative muttering. Dr. Tulia, please elaborate, Elataria yelled. Dr. Tulia, please elaborate. Dr. Tulia, please elaborate, Elataria yelled to the dismay of Rocket. The poor Uvil was shaken around in his wheelchair almost violently by the excited corporal. Maybe this is how I die, he thought to himself. He flattened his ears in hopes to drown out this horrible conversation. However, fate is a cruel mistress. Oh, he was a gentleman. After a medical seminar, he walked up to me, declared I was beautiful, and would like to take the time to get to know me more. Tulia started gloating gleefully as she started going into detail about their encounters. Please, just kill me. Rocket pressed his good hand to his head, trying to suppress a headache. Ah, another missing period. The conversation continued for the next 5 minutes until someone finally went too far. So? No. So how does he satisfy you? The conversation continued for the next 5 minutes until someone finally went too far. So? Does he satisfy you? A nurse asked apprehensively. No. Rocket said aloud to no avail. A huge grin spread across Tulia's face as she slowly rocked back. A huge grin spread across Tulia's face as she slowly looked back at said nurse. They are a pursuit predation mammal. Their endurance is unmatched. A huge grin spread across Tulia's face as she slowly looked back at said nurse. They are a pursuit predator. A huge grin spread across Tulia's Tula? Tulia. A huge grin spread across. No. A huge grin spread across Tulia's face as she slowly looked back at said nurse. They are a predation. Why are you still going? A huge grin spread across Tulia's face as she slowly looked back. Come on! What the hell? A huge grin spread across Tulia's face as she slowly looked back at said nurse. They are a pursuit predation mammal. Their endurance is unmatched.
A huge grin spread across Tulia's face. Slowly looked back and
A huge grin spread across Tulia's face as she slowly looked back at said nurse. They are a pursuit predation mammal. Their endurance is unmatched, she said almost evilly. Please, no, he pleaded once more. More things you gotta read to catch. Oh. The group ignored him as the women were rapt by Tulia recounting. Wait, recanting? Recant? Yeah, no. Recant is a retraction. She is not recanting, she's recalling. Wrapped by Tulia. Recanting, recalling, Yeah, I guess we'll go with recalling. The group ignored him as the women were wrapped, snared. Recounting. Yes. Recounting. The group ignored him as the women were ensnared by Tulia recounting her bedroom escapades. That's what we want.
the group ignored him.
The group ignored him as the women were ensnared by Tulia recounting her bedroom escapades. He does things to me that a man would never dream of. It's as if humans don't have the concept of shameful or degrading acts. Like, she continued to gush about her. The group ignored him as the women were ensnared by Tulia recounting her bedroom escapades. He does things to me that a man would never dream of. It's as if humans don't have the concept of shameful or degrading acts, like... She continued to gush about her human husband to the gaggle of women. As the minutes dragged on, Rocket knew he was in hell, for he had no mouth and he had to scream. So many things he wished to never know. So many things he wished to scrub from his mind. It wasn't until Tulia received a notification on her datapad did everyone remember they were either still on duty or had somewhere else to be. All right, ladies. We should have lunch sometime so I can get into the juicy parts, Tulia said, dismissing the group. Juicy parts? As if earlier wasn't awful enough? Rocket couldn't help but yell out in disbelief. The group finally noticed that he would... The group finally noticed that he in fact existed, and turned their head to him. Turned their heads. The group finally noticed that he in fact existed, and turned their heads to him as if shocked he was there. Dr. Tulia walked away laughing, and Elataria looked down at her disgruntled lieutenant with guilt on her face. Sir, she eked out before Rocket interrupted her. Just take me to my room. he said with his hand still pressed against his head. The headache was almost unbearable. Yes, sir, she replied in half shame and half amusement. When he finally reached his room, he rested his weary head and worked on purging his mind of those foul memories. Sanctuary. All right, sir. Just notify me or Liliandra if you need anything, Eletaria said as she was leaving the room. Rocket slowly rolled his head to look in the direction of her voice. Yeah, I will. Thanks, he mumbled just loud enough for Eletaria to hear. She smiled wryly and let out a huff of amusement as she slowly closed the door. The next day was much more exciting. Liliandra accompanied him this time, and unfortunately she wanted confirmation on the details of yesterday's gossip that involved her friend. Sitting in the examination room trying to drown out the continued gossip and endure the injection of tailored stem cells. That is a fragment sentence. Sitting in the examination room, comma, trying to drown out the continued gossip and endure the injection of the stem cells. Again, he wished for death to take him. When a series of loud knocks startled everyone inside. Madame Tulia.
Liliandra accompanied him. Fortunately, wanted confirmation.
Sitting in the examination room and trying to drown out the continued gossip and endure the injection of tailored stem cells, again, he wished for death to take him. When a series of loud knocks.
Sitting in the examination.
Let's go ahead and drop a save. Man with Green Faces, Chapter 15. Green Faces 15. Still only page 5 out of 13. Ugh, taking forever. Rocket sat in the examination room, trying to drown out the continued gossip. The hell? Pause. Thank you. Rocket sat in the examination room, trying to drown out the continued gossip and endure the injection of Rocket sat in the examination room, trying to drown out the continued gossip and endure the injection of tailored stem cells. Again, he wished for death to take him, when a series of loud knocks startled everyone inside. Madame Tulia. Madame Tulia. A voice spoke from the other side of the door. Yes? Tulia spoke with an apprehensive curiosity. The door opened to show a pair of human MPs, military police, on the other side. No apostrophe. The door opened to show a pair of human MPs, military police, on the other side. Rocket was well acquainted with one of them. The door opened to show a pair of human MPs, military police, on the other side. Rocket was well acquainted with one of them, the tall, fair-skinned man with features similar to Jin. Dale? Rocket's lone eye opened in surprise. We're here for Lieutenant. Oh, shit! Dale was immediately cut off by a cup rocketing directly at his face. Thunk! The lucky man managed to immediately close the door, just before the object slammed into his face. Emperor damned humans and their reaction time! Tullia snarled at the door. The door gingerly cracked open with just an eye peering through it to see if it was still safe. We agreed the good lieutenant would be here for treatment for at least another week, she protested. Madame, I'm sorry, but... Dale tried his best to temper the hot-headed medical expert, but he was destined for failure. Don't madame me! The doctor roared while throwing another nearby object at the door. The door immediately slammed shut again. Clank! Ding! He's not even remotely healthy enough for whatever you have planned! She yelled with blind fury. The humans didn't even bother to open the door again. They decided having this conversation with a barrier between them was much safer. Madame, I'm sorry, but we have strict orders to take him to the same human who tried to get out. The same human voice tried to get out, but again... The same human voice tried to get out, but again he was cut off. Crash! Another object slammed against the door. His nerves, let alone his muscles, haven't properly grown back yet, and you expect him to perform whatever psychotic duties you have in store? Tullia sneered. Are you supposed to be... Aren't you supposed to be a healer? Aren't you supposed to be a healer? Everything you've thrown at us would have put us in a hospital! Dale yelled through the door. The pair of humans then heard a pair of feet stomping in the direction of the door. And you two would be guarded jealously until you are fully healed! Tullia yelled as she approached the door. The two looked at each other and made the decision to pull on the door handle to prevent the angered woman from opening it. The door shook firmly at the start, and then started to rock violently. Open the door, you cowards! The howls from the other side of the door made sure that was not going to happen. The two pulled together to keep the monster at bay. Fuck, Taria's strong as shit! Dale sneered as he held on with all his might. Somehow, Imperial doctors are even more psychotic than ours, Dale's partner mumbled, pulling. Somehow, Imperial doctors even more psychotic than ours, Dale's partner mumbled, pulling to secure the door as well. Liliandra and Rocket stood there in mute horror and shock at the ferocity of their doctor. Rocket knew about Imperial healers' oaths. Somehow, Rocket knew about Imperial. Rocket knew what Imperial healers' oaths entailed and what they did to adhere to them. Rocket knew what Imperial healers' oaths entailed, and what they did to adhere to them. but to see it in action was breathtaking. Dr. Tulia, maybe we should hear them out? Liliandra nervously asked. And a period. Dr. Tulia, maybe we should hear them out? Liliandra nervously asked. The doctor snapped her head back at her and glared. Her red irises seemed to be blazing with anger. Eep! Liliandra immediately shut up and looked away. Madame, please, we promise he won't be expected. Madame, please, we promise he won't be exerted in any way and immediately returned. Slam! Tulia's hand slammed down on the door. Liars! I know you humans! You come with honeyed words, and when you're offered a small morsel, you eat a feast! She bellowed. The doctor snarled in anger and pulled out her datapad. Her face contorted in even more anger as she answered the voice comm. You bastard! You send your men to take a critically injured patient that can't even walk, and you expect me to just allow this to happen? She screamed at her datapad while walking into the middle of the room. The door slightly opened again, and the two... Door slightly opened again, and the two... screamed at her datapad while walking into... The door slightly opened again, and two cautious heads poked through to see what was happening. The doctor was flailing one of her arms and held the datapad in her other as she screamed into her earpiece. No! No! I don't believe you! She yelled. Everyone was hoping whatever was on the other side. Everyone was hoping whoever was on the other side was trying to speak reason into her. For all they knew, all of their lives were in jeopardy. You won't be able to speak your honeyed words and get your way this time! I said no! She still remained angry, but the noise level slowly calmed down. She then abruptly stopped and stayed quiet for a while. Her eyes twitched periodically, and her snarl stayed. She then abruptly stopped and stayed quiet for a while. Her eyes twitched periodically, and her snarl started fading from unadulterated rage to mere anger. Emperor bless whoever is speaking sense into her. Rocket mumbled quietly, and Liliandra nodded eagerly. Dr. Tulia then stopped and gave a contemplative look. They could hear a voice coming from her earpiece, but no one understood the context. You can't guarantee that! You won't be there yourself! She said with less power from before. Silence and anxiety gripped the room as they watched the doctor. Her expression slowly softened, and her foot tapping. Are you sure? She asked almost gently. Promise me you'll be there, she demanded. Dr. Tullia's expression finally softened, and she looked down at the ground. Okay, she said, cooling down from her earlier rage. The room held their breath as they watched the rampaging woman starting to calm down. The room held their breath as they watched the rampaging woman start to calm down. No, I believe you, Tullia said softly. Okay. She gave another meek confirmation. There was a long pause with the doctor's face going from subdued to flustered panic. Her eyes darted around the room, trying to count how many people were there. She stuttered. Tullia's head looked down. Tullia's head looked like it was going to pop due to blood pressure. I love you too. The doctor's face fully flushed as he stumbled to get those words out. The two humans finally opened the door and gingerly stepped through, but immediately stiffened up. The two humans finally opened the door and gingerly stepped through, but immediately stiffened up at the renewed glare by the doctor. Hurry up and do whatever it is you're going to do, Tullia said, leaving the room out of sheer embarrassment. And bring him back! She shouted before storming off. The entire room sighed in relief. The storm seemed to have passed. Rocket turned his head to look at Dale, who seemed defeated and exhausted from the encounter. So, what are you doing here, Dale? Why do they want me? Rocket asked curiously. Dale shrugged. Fuck if I know, man. I'm just an MP. They want me to take you to the spooks. No. Fuck if I know. Fuck if I know, man. Fuck if I know, man. I'm just an MP. They want me to take you to the spooks. Wrong accent there. That's not Dale. That's a different Dale. Madame, fuck if I know, man. Fuck if I know, man. I'm just an MP. Fuck if I know, man. I'm just an MP. Fuck if I know, man. I'm just an MP. Fuck if I know, man. I'm just an MP. They want me to take you to the spooks, he said. Liliandra gently helped Rocket put his bed. Liliandra gently helped Rocket put his bad arm back into his sling, and then immediately took position behind his wheelchair. I'm not even allowed to get near that part of the base we're taking you to a pickup location. I'm not even allowed to get near that part of the base. We're taking you to a pickup location, Dale apologetically said as he rubbed the back of his head. In another period. Rocket rubbed his chin in thought. Well, there's only one way to find out, he said. Making their way through the base in a human light utility vehicle, Rocket leaned his head against the reinforced glass. He saw a group of humans and a lone female Tauri laughing around a table on a recreational bench while eating. What? When were humans allowed to roam this side of the base? Oh, jeez, I cannot get her vocal fry. When were humans allowed to roam this side of the base? When were there we go. When were humans allowed to roam this side of the base? When were when were humans allowed to roam this side of the base? Loliandra asked, befuddled. The vehicle somehow became even more silent than it already was. Dale seemed stumped for an answer when his partner saved him. Special qual... Special qualified. Special qualified. Special qualified tasking. Don't worry about it. Special qualified tasking. Don't worry about it, his partner said. Dale secretly gave him a thumbs up and turned around to face the two. Yeah, we don't know much about the program, so make sure you keep it to yourself, okay? He said with feigned bravado. Rocket smelled bullshit, and it stunk real bad. He wanted to say something, but he realized it wasn't really his problem. He wanted to say something, but He wanted to say something, but he realized it really wasn't his problem. Okay, Loliandra said and looked to Rocket for answers. Rocket looked at her with a wry smile and shrugged. Rocket looked at her with a wry smile and shrugged. Humans are weird. Don't worry about it, he said to get her off topic. It was obvious whatever the humans in the recreation area were up to were trouble. It was obvious whatever the humans in the recreational area were up to was trouble. It was obvious whatever the humans in the recreational area were up to was trouble, and he knew the two in front were in on it. But again, it really wasn't his problem. Whatever, Loliandra said with a shrug of her own as she went back to staring outside. As they drove up on the human side of the joint base, they saw it was completely abuzz with activity, much more so than yesterday. The sheer amount of blacked-out VTOLs and the heavily armed human gunships. Finally on page 10. That's at least something. I need to check something quickly. Here. And yes, that's what I was looking for.
If all the different spellings of Ashley were a picture, Ashley.
All right. I needed to find that video and send that out to a Facebook friend. Okay. Is that good? Oh. Yeah, I am not being efficient at all today. Like last week, I just powered through this. I got all three videos for the week recorded in one session and then just did the editing pretty quickly. But man, today is a slog. Now, let's go ahead and turn off Hubble. Stream Ninja needs to get in front of Hubble. Good.
Much more so than him.
The sheer amount of blacked out VTOLs and the heavily armed human gunships that were flying in and out concerned Rocket a little bit. Something seemed to have happened, or something was happening. When the vehicle finally came to a stop, Rocket immediately recognized a familiar face that made him slightly cringe. Colonel Toivonen and another human. Seemed.
Colonel Toivonen.
Colonel Toivonen and another human. It seemed that she still held that motherly expression on her face, although that expression contorted into disgust and panic when Rocket had vomited all. Colonel Toivonen and another human. It seemed that she still held that motherly expression on her face, although that expression Colonel Toivonen and another human. It seemed that she still held that motherly expression on her face, although that expression contorted into disgust and panic when Rocket vomited all over her. Just remembering was painful. He also noticed she was flanked by humans that screamed dangerous to him. They were armed to the teeth and seemed to have more cybernetics than he'd ever seen on a human. It was a subtle touch that made it look like their real body, but Uville eyes don't lie. The extremely small details of artificial skin and lines, where flesh meets machine. What troubled him was... What troubled him the most were their faces. They were unnerving. He couldn't focus on them. It was as if his eyes naturally wanted to gloss over and ignore it. When he could focus, they seemed almost distorted. There! What the hell was that? Rocket noticed out of the periphery, more of them in key areas, forming a protective bubble. There! What the hell was that? Rocket noticed out of the periphery, more of them in key areas, forming a protective bubble. How the fuck? He muttered to himself. He jumped when his focus was interrupted by Liliandra opening his door with his wheelchair ready. As he was wheeled to the good colonel, she gave him a genuine smile. Ah, Rocket, I'm glad you could make it, she said happily. As Rocket was being pushed, he meekly waved his good hand. Good afternoon, Colonel. I'm sorry about yesterday, he said with painful embarrassment. The woman burst with laughter. Don't worry about it. I was the one worried, you know, Toivonen said casually. She also remembered how he chucked all... She also remembered how he chunked all over her. She was more afraid that she pushed too hard, but she was relieved he seemed to be perfectly fine. The period. Anyways, I'd like you to meet Dr. Greco, she cheerfully introduced her compatriot. Hello, I'm Dr. Stefano Greco. I hope you don't mind me tagging along, Greco said with a smile. Liliandra immediately recognized him from the... Yeah, I guess that's, yeah. Liliandra immediately recognized him from the Tulia tales. Ah, you're Dr. Tulia's husband, she seemingly shouted. Dr. Greco scratched the back of his head and laughed nervously. Yeah, I apologize for the earlier scene. She takes her oaths very seriously, he replied. Seriously. She's a wonderful woman, though. She cares deeply for every one of her patients. Greco finished with a love-struck smile. Is it true that you, Liliandra's curiosity got the better of her before she was cut off. Ahem! Rocket cleared his throat loudly, causing Liliandra to shut up. It's good to meet you too, Dr. Greco. Rocket returned the greeting. Well, now that introductions are done... Well, now that introductions are done, you'll be overseeing your health as you perform... She stopped, and I'd... Well, now that introductions are done, you'll be overseeing your health as you perform... She stopped and eyed Liliandra and the MPs behind Rocket. Critical duties for us, she finished. Rocket understood and looked behind him towards Liliandra. I'm sorry, but I don't think they'll allow you to come with me, he said apologetically to her. Liliandra gave him a winning smile and waved her hand. Don't worry about it, sir. Shall I wait here? She tried to ease his troubles. How was he going to get back? He wondered. Oh, don't worry. We'll drop you off at the hospital at 1900 sharp. Dr. Greco spoke up this time. Toivonen gave him a sideways glare. I did promise, after all. Unless you want to fight an enraged Imperial medical practitioner, he said in a mocking tone while shrugging his shoulders. Giving in, Toivonen sighed as she turned around and walked towards a pair of vehicles. Fine. We need to work fast then, she said. Fine. Fine, we need to work fast then, she said, her hand lifted daintily in the air and motioned everyone to follow her. Rocket's instinct screamed at him as he barely registered movements in his peripheral.
Rocket.
Scream. Rocket's instincts screamed at him as he barely registered movements on his periphery. These humans, they moved like ghosts. The doctor got behind him and started pushing his wheelchair and caught up with the colonel. Rocket was looking around as subtly as he could, but the colonel seemed to notice. Don't mind the hands. They're here for security, she said, jarring him out of his search. What? Is security for what? We're in the middle of the most fortified base on the continent. Rocket was bewildered by what exactly they needed protection from. Not personal security. Not personal security. Operational. You'll understand when we arrive, Toivonen said, getting into the vehicle. Rocket's eyebrows twitched. What the hell were the humans and their Emperor-damned secrets? Was. Rocket's eyebrow twitched. What the hell was with humans and their Emperor-damned secrets? He looked at Dr. Greco to see if he had any insight as to what was going on. Don't look at me. I'm only here because my wife asked me to be here. Greco shrugged with a wry smile on his shoulder. Greco shrugged with a wry smile on his face. He figured it was no use to argue. He'll just have to see for himself. He figured it was no use to argue. He'd just have to see for himself. They drove past checkpoint after checkpoint, each one more heavily fortified than the last, with more complex requirements for entry. Finally, they reached their destination, a moderately sized building in an odd black and reflective material. Finally, more complex requirements for one more heavily drove past. They drove past checkpoint after checkpoint, each one more heavily fortified than the last, with more complex entry. They drove past checkpoint after checkpoint. They drove past checkpoint after checkpoint, each one more heavily fortified than the last, with more complex requirements for entry. Finally, they reached their destination, a moderately sized building made of an odd black and reflective material. Inside were some of the most paranoid security requirements he had ever encountered. They had to empty their pockets, be patted down, go through a scanner, remove their boots, give retinal scans, facial scans. The list went on for verification for their identities. They had to empty their pockets, be patted down, go through a scanner, remove their boots, give retinal scans, facial scans. The list went on for verification of their identities. They had to empty their pockets, be patted down, go through a scanner, remove their boots, give retinal scans, facial scans. The list went on for verification of their identities. The doctor was stopped immediately by the ridiculously armed security teams. Sorry, sir, you're not authorized to pass.
sir. Doctor was stopped in.
The doctor was stopped immediately by the ridiculously armed security teams. Sorry, sir, you're not allowed. The doctor was stopped immediately by the ridiculously armed security teams. Sorry, sir, you're not allowed to pass, said a soldier in full exoskeleton armor. Ah, here. The doctor was stopped immediately by the ridiculously armed security teams. Sorry, sir, you're not allowed to pass. The doctor was stopped immediately by the ridiculously armed security teams. Sorry, sir, you're not authorized to pass, said a soldier in full exoskeleton armor. Ah, here. He pulled out an encrypted datapad and scanned it, then showed it to the soldier. At the same time, Toivonen pulled out a similar encrypted datapad and handed it over. He's given temporary access. At the same time, Toivonen pulled out a similar encrypted datapad and handed it over. He's given temporary access, she said with a hint of annoyance in her voice. Rocket's anxiety jumped massively at the fact that they wouldn't let their own doctor through, and the colonel couldn't just wave him in. Just what the hell were they hiding here? When they finally got through the security screening, they started walking down a long and narrow corridor. They finally entered a room at the end of the hallway. Inside was a group of humans sitting at a table, with a variety of monitors and instruments. On the wall, it looked like there was supposed to be a window there, but it was completely blacked out. Toivonen turned around to look at the two. Under no circumstances must you repeat or describe anything you've seen here, she said in a harsh and serious manner. Rocket wondered what the fuck he was getting himself into. Well, it's not like he had a choice in the matter. He signed up for it. Roger that, ma'am, he said crisply. The colonel nodded at him and returned to Dr. Greco. This goes double for you, Doctor. You're here as a courtesy because you made this happen, she continued. Failure to comply will result in your arrest and punishment under UCMJ, Uniform... Failure to comply will result in your arrest and punishment under UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. This comes straight from MISO Command. She gave him a threatening glare. Dr. Greco shifted nervously. I got it. I'll keep my mouth shut, he said, understanding how serious this was. Toivonen nodded with satisfaction, then walked towards the wall and tapped a button. The section of the wall that was blacked out immediately went transparent, and the section of the wall that was blacked out immediately went transparent, and what was inside shook Rocket to his core. The lone Scourge was laying on a bed, sleeping comfortably. It was the very same one he helped capture. But what disturbed him more was what was next to her. Dozens of eggs. Eggs with red stripes. You must destroy them! Whew! Oh! Yeah. That was something. I start this thing at 7 and it's almost 10. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah. That was something. Oh. I want to take a break. I don't know if I should. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna wrap up the stream. No one is here chatting, that's okay. Oh, this at least got me working. Cool. Get me stuff for tomorrow. Fortunately, the episodes for Wednesday and Friday are much shorter than this. So yeah. thanks for stopping by. If anyone was just quietly here, wrapping the thing up. See you guys later.